Okay, here we go with a 9-ball Scotch doubles tournament. This is a first round match. These are handicap matches, and that goes by the team rating of each team. And if you look at the HUD in the top there, you'll see that Team 2 are getting 4 games in this race to 7. There's a big difference in the standard of players in the two teams. You've got two of the best players in VP4 in the one team, that's Fritz and Albinario, against Samoray and Skyduster. But if the two guys that are getting a handicap play smart, they can get the use of those 4 racks, especially if there's any mistakes made by the favourites. So Albinario's got ball in hand. Two ball into the corner, 3 ball hanging over the far top left corner. So those first 3 balls look fairly straightforward. 4 balls over the left middle, and then it's just a path down to the 5 ball. And straight away, that's probably one of the worst shots you'll see tonight. I don't think he can get through to the 2, can he? Nope, the old jump stick out again. Now, these shots are difficult to control when the ball's bedded deep into the corner pocket and getting the cue ball out. The choice is either to try and draw it dead weight or try and just go around the corner and come out with the cue ball. And I don't think he played that exactly right. Maybe he did. But there's going to be a collision here if he just tries to run through for the 5. The natural path of the ball is going to take the cue ball into the 7, or in between the 7 and 8, so it's going to be difficult to get down onto the 5 ball with this shot. Well, he chose to ride his luck, and he's left a potting angle on it, I think. And that's tied everything up. No shot in the 6. 7's tied up with the 9. Just looking to play a safety, I would imagine. Try and draw it in behind the 9 and 7. Send the 6 up the table. That's a reasonable shot, but in VP4 you've got to get the cue ball tied right up behind the object ball to get a good snooker, because anybody that's got a jump cue can jump over that 7 ball and clip the 6 in. Skyduster doesn't possibly have a jump cue or doesn't fancy the jump shot and is looking to kick this in. And that should be the first rack of the match over. He probably would have been better trying to jump it whether he had a jump cue or not.
Steve Chaplin joined your channel.
perfect angle on the 8 ball. Just to draw this off the 8, leave it on the 9 into the corner. So that's 1 rack of the 4 rack deficit gone. Samoray and Skyduster still lead by 4 racks to 1. Four ball and 2 ball drop into the right hand corner pocket. And there's a shot in the 1. And there's a very narrow window to get on this 3 ball to cut it in past the 7, but it does go. He might look to actually try and move balls here. I don't know. No, he's trying to play the line to kick into the 6 ball and leave it on the 3. It was a good effort, but he's left his partner in trouble. Now, yeah, that was probably the best shot there. I was thinking Samoray might have been tempted to try and run that into the corner pocket, but there was no way to get on the 5 ball, so he's played a good safe. A fairly easy kick shot though. Good try by Fritz. He's got the hit, but he's set up the 3. Again, that isn't the problem. The problem's that getting onto this 5 in such a way, but there's no way it pots past the 6. And Skyduster's made a complete hash of that shot. Concentrating too much to move the 5, which he did actually achieve. He's left it open, but unfortunately now he's left it open for his opponents. Just get the cue ball round the corner now into the middle of the table, and Albie's taking his eye off that one. Now this is a genuine chance for these guys. They've just got to take their time. And again, this is the perfect example of these difficult shots. It's difficult to control the cue ball with the right pace to get on that 6. The 6 passes the 9 ball, but at that distance it's very, very difficult to judge the power. So there you see he's left it short. And this is an in-off into the middle pocket here. If he plays the cut shot, it's definitely sending the cue ball close to the middle. He tried to save, and that's probably sold that rack down the river as well. Now Fritz is one player who has certainly got his mouse dialed in for the pace of shots in VP4, and you can see when somebody's got full control over the weight of their shots, they've really spent a bit of time working on the settings for their cue speed and the mouse control, and that way you can play shots and control the cue ball a lot better. There's too many people in VP4 don't pay much attention to their whole setup, and that way they're playing the game where they're never really in full control of the pace and the weight of shots that they're trying to play. Well, he's somehow got it onto the 9. Albie just needs to roll this down. Nice weight. We'll take it into the pocket. But he's hit that way offline. And the obvious shot here would be the bank. Skyduster looking at the cut, but that's not on. You've got to play the bank. And you don't overhit the bank shots either. You've got to hit these nice medium pace so the cue ball takes a right angle off the rail. And he's went for a shot that was never on. He had a probably better than 50-50 chance of banking that 9, and probably a 70-30 against getting that 9 into the pocket by cutting it the way he tried it. So that's just poor gameplay, poor thought. So you could put that one down as a giveaway. It shouldn't be 4-2. It should be 5-1 right now, but that's the way it goes. And it looks like a dry break. Again, an example there. He pots the 1 ball, but did he think about the pace in the ball to get the cue ball out to give his partner a shot in the 2? I don't think so. He was more concerned about just potting the 1 ball. And if that's the way you're going to play, you're going to struggle all night. Now, he's got lucky. He's got the ball rolled into the middle pocket, but he's got no shot in the 3. I don't know why he's bringing the jump cue out, because you could have an easy kick there with just a bit of inside English or left hand side in the cue ball off the back rail and kick the 3 up the table. And that was never going to happen. You've got 2 totally different contrasting teams here. You've got guys who are long-term experienced VP players against 2 guys whose knowledge of the game is fairly slim. They're just learning the game, but they'll certainly learn from their mistakes, hopefully. And if you're ever going to be punished by your mistakes, then these 2 guys, Fritz and Albinario, are going to do that. And if these guys keep making mistakes and not taking their chances, they won't win a rack in this match. They'll only have the 4 racks that they got in the handicap. Another thing to remember as well is this tournament, this 9-ball Scotch doubles, is a periodic tournament. It happens every week. This is Monday night. It starts at 7:30 British summer time, and it's handicap. So not only have you got the benefit of either getting some racks, but it's also double elimination, which means if you lose one match, you'll go to the loser's side, and you'll still have a second chance of making it to the final. Well, we've got a ball in the break again, another ball, that's 2 down. No real shot in the 2. So it's now 4 racks to 3 for Skyduster and Samoray. That was a bit ambitious, that cut shot. He's going to have to do quite a bit with the cue ball here to even get near the 3. A deep screw shot, try and draw it across the table into them. Or he tried getting round the corner, which he managed to find a path. That actually wasn't a bad shot. However, he's nowhere near the pocket with the 2 ball. Albinario played that with right hand side to check the cue ball back up the table to give Fritz a shot in the 3 ball. He's perfect on it. And somewhere out in the middle of the table would be ideal. Doesn't want to leave his partner too straight in the 5. Now Albinario might want to bring the cue ball down the left hand side of the table as we look at it. So just a little bit of side on the ball to kick it across. He's played it okay, but he's a bit short. But luckily for them, the 7 ball is up the table, so the natural path of the cue ball's going up that direction. Now he might go up past the 7 and back out into the table, or might try and play this dead weight. Yep, he's went up and back down, and that looks pretty good on the 7. Albinario can just draw this cue ball off the 7 up past the left side pocket for the 8. And it's looking good for the 4th rack in a row, and that gets rid of the handicap score, so it's now going to be 4 racks each in this race to 7. So Fritz breaks off in rack 9. It's a dry break. Now it's virtually impossible to get on the 2, so there was no shot there. So again, wise thinking by Samoray. He's tied the cue ball up behind the 4, and this is difficult to hit unless he can get, and he can't even get past the side rail to swerve round to hit the one. He's got to pick an angle somewhere off a couple of rails maybe to hit this. That's a tough one. This looks pretty good. That's excellent. And it's left it pretty safe. That was a good hit. And Skyduster's returned a compliment, although I think you can see a thin edge of the one. And the double kiss has foiled him there. Now every ball here has a pocket. Nothing needs to be moved. There is a slight angle on this too, but Skyduster needs to stun this in quite firm to get the cue ball up the table, up by the 9 ball. And again, he's short on weight, try to run through and spin it out, and has got his partner in trouble again. And this is how these guys are going to struggle to win a rack when they struggle to get the basic positional shots right. I mean, that wasn't a tough shot to get the cue ball out to get it on the 3. It was just a matter of playing the shot the correct technique. So once again, ball in hand, table's wide open. This should be 5-4 to Albinario and Fritz.
Steve Chaplin disconnected from your channel.
It's slightly overhit. Shouldn't be any problem though. Probably bring the cue ball across the table twice, out into the middle of the table for the 6 ball. Now he's just short of pace. Cue ball's got to go down to the bottom of the screen as we look at it and back up for the 7. No, he managed to have enough angle there to make a draw shot. That's not bad. And this is just about pace, because the cue ball's coming up the table. It's a question of whether he wants to go the left side of the bait or the right side, and that's all down to what sort of English he's going to put in the cue ball. So he's pushed it left. It could have been a bit straighter for his partner. This cue ball's going to go round, I would imagine, around 2 rails and back up the table for the 9. And that's good weight and a fairly easy 9 ball to roll in for Albinario. And that takes the match to 5 racks to 4 in this race to 7. That's a good break. Ball on the break, a shot on the 1 ball, and you can see the problem balls are going to be the 4 and the 5. Let's have a look down the table. And the 4 doesn't pass the 5, I don't think. That's a good chance to sink the 2 but leave an angle on the 3 so that the Albinario can move this 4 and 5 ball. And let's have a look at the The angle, yes, he can do that. He can play this with a little bit of right hand side. Not much, he doesn't need much, but he can just, if he gets it right, he can chip the 5 away and still leave the 4 ball on into the same pocket as the 3. We'll see how this works out. He doesn't look as if he's playing much on it. It's gone wrong. So somehow Fritz has got to hit this 4 and get it safe. Now if you look at that 9 ball, the 9 ball's hanging over the bottom right hand pocket. Maybe Fritz's best bet would be to pot the 9 and get it back in the spot and give them ball in hand, and then just hope that they aren't skilled enough to do the run out. Well, he went for the kick off the rail, almost potted the 4. Again, I keep mentioning it, the 4 ball's in the pocket, and this is a difficulty. Even in this fairly simple shot, is just drawing with the right pace to get the cue ball out to have a shot in the 5, and that's not bad. And the 7 ball's tight in the rail, and this will need to be a good shot to squeeze past the 9. If he doesn't keep it tight to the rail, it won't go in, but it does pass the 9 ball. And he's got lucky. Now you might see Albinario bank this in off the end rail as we look at it, up and down. It's not a difficult shot, but it's more than likely what Albinario possibly will play. Yeah, somewhere near that middle diamond, just to the right of the middle diamond. I think it looks about right. That might be a bit too far, or maybe my eyes are telling me the wrong information. Yep, he's squared it up a bit more, and he just missed it. Good try. So 3 balls on the table. Samoray and Skyduster really need to win this rack. No excuse, and that was a poor effort. And I'm afraid I think their chances of winning this rack have just gone straight out the window with that shot. And one thing there with that shot that Samoray had, why didn't he take a bit more time? There's no shot clock in this tournament. You've got as much time as you need just to study the shot, get your sight on the ball as best as you can, and then play the shot, but you just rushed it. And so now Albinario and Fritz have won the first 6 racks of the match. They're now on the hill, just need this rack to beat Samoray and Skyduster and send them to the loser's side. That 1 ball won't be there long. You can easily run the cue ball off the side rail and clip this in, probably play it with a bit of right hand English or right hand side, just to send a cue ball off the rail and make the potting angle on the one. But no luck. Wonder if Albie will resort to the jump cue. It looks like the easiest option. Yep. Almost got the two. Again, he's got lucky. And there's no angle off the right hand rail to hit this two, because the 8 ball's in the way. It looks very tight. Yeah, there's no way he could get to the two from that angle. But why did he insist on playing the shot? Because he couldn't think of anything else? I don't know. The only chance he would have had of hitting that two would be to play just missing the 8 ball with extreme right hand side to try and check the cue ball off the rail to get it across to the two, but even then that would have been tough. So as you can see there, the 5 and the 8 ball both go into that pocket. They're not obstructing one another. Just a roll through from this 3. And Albie could have played that a bit better. He's left Fritz a high angle on the 4. Now he just needs to come round behind the 8 and the 7 here. Bring the cue ball back to where it was, down that side. But he's tried to just play it soft. In this shot, there's nothing needs to be done with the cue ball. Just get the pot on the 5. The cue ball's coming down into the middle of the table for the 6 anyway. Again, it's all about pace, this shot. If he doesn't want to get ambitious, he can just roll the 6 in, a little bit of right hand English, and get the cue ball across for the 7 into the middle pocket. I think he played that, but he's played it a bit too firm, but he's left him straight down into the corner. So this match is all over. Fritz just has a simple 8 ball. Just needs to kill the cue ball, draw it up the table a tad, and leave Albinario an easy 9 ball. So, Albinario and Fritz win their first round match in this week's 9 ball Scotch doubles by 7 racks to 4.